Make sure it shows up. Emil Kadlec here, week 1 of the NFL season, footballdiehards.com. I'm so excited. The Line of Scrimmage calf game show is finally here, week 1. John Laub, the scholar, how are you today?
I'm doing great. You know, I first started doing player rankings last April. So from April to now, I'm ready for tomorrow. I feel like I know more about this slate than I do any slate all season. I love the opening week. So we're here to help you build your cash game lineups and give you some options, sleepers, a Fantastic Four, and a GPP contrarian. But we're here every week on Saturdays to help you.
Fantastic. And of course, week 1 is really crazy because there's a lot of unknowns. We really don't know what's going to happen in a lot of situations, which gives us opportunities, but they're all very kind of scary opportunities, unknown, which is really fun. All right, you ready to go to the first slide?
Absolutely, my friend.
Let's see if I put the right one up. How's that look?
Excellent. Can you do a favor and move my picture down? Can you move it to a different spot?
What picture are we talking about?
Oh, you can't see me. I can just see me. Okay. As long as the viewer. That's perfect.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Emil said there are a lot of unknowns in week 1. And one of the things you need to be able to do is find sleepers. And we're going to be here all season helping you find some value plays. What I've done here is selected 4 value plays that you can use in your cash game lineups or in your GPP, depending on how you want to structure your lineups this week. In general, I'm shooting for less than 12% ownership, unless there's such a good option for a cash game starter where you can take the 20% ownership because the production's there. You always have to balance ownership percentage with production. The name of the game is to score the most points. So you've got to make sure that when you look for sleepers that are highly owned, that they are still scoring points. And then those who are low owned are going to score a lot of points for you and be able to beat the competition. So the first one today, I think there are going to be people, Emil, who attack this slate by diving in with a duo of Christian McCaffrey and Alvin Kamara or Dalvin Cook. 2 of those 3 running backs. I believe those are going to be very popular. If that is how you want to structure your lineup build around 2 stud runners, Emil, you need to find value. One of the players that popped up to me, Mac Jones, the rookie from Alabama. He is starting against Miami, but they are home. I know it might be risky for some people, but I do believe in Josh McDaniels and Bill Belichick. If they have decided, for whatever reason, to release Cam Newton and start Mac Jones, I am going to trust that brain drain, those 2 gentlemen, to make a right decision. Emil, you're getting a starting quarterback for $4,400. $4,400. Ladies and gentlemen, usually $5,000 is a bargain. You're going under $600 under a bargain price, in my opinion, and he's only 6% owned. We're always looking for 3 times value. You only need 13 points from a starting quarterback. What would that be? 2 touchdowns, 240 yards passing. You will get 3 times value. What if this game Mac Jones throws for 280 and 3 touchdowns. Then you are smashing your 4,400. He's only 6% owned. There is unknown and there is risk. But if you are looking to build a lineup around stud running backs, Jones is a nice pivot. It is risky. It might even be more of a GPP play than it is a cash game. But I do like Mac Jones here for 4,400. One player that I don't read a lot about, I don't see a lot of discussion, James Robinson is starting against the Texans. And Emil, I'll admit, I have no idea what the Texans are doing other than tanking. They just traded away their best defensive player. I don't know what they have left. The Jaguars are starting a rookie quarterback. They do have a underappreciated offensive line. Look at some of the stats from last year. The experts who rank offensive line play. The Jaguars are pretty good. They're not great. They're not in that Indianapolis-Dallas category, but they're not abysmal. Well, what does that tell me with the rookie quarterback? Emil, you run the football. James Robinson might get 28 touches in this game. I would never have thought about James Robinson with Travis Etienne, but now he's out for the year. The Texans, last I looked, are abysmal on defense. They were abysmal on defense last year, and they did not get any better this year. James Robinson only $6,400, and he's 4% owned, Emil.
Yeah,
he might get 30 points in this game on 28 touches.
Yeah, the only worry is obviously it's the young situation, but the young quarterback situation. But even if they end up throwing a here and there and they're able to do that, guess what? James Robinson can catch the ball. He's a good back out of the backfield.
Yes, let me see. Last year, he had 49 receptions, Emil.
That's a ton.
That is nice. I think there's a huge floor with a very nice ceiling. I mean, I like James Robinson because he's the third down back, he's the pass catching back, he's the goal line back. I mean, I like him here. If
Fantastic.
you're going to go high-end wide receivers, ladies and gentlemen, you need to find at least one wide receiver to pivot to. I debated this one a lot this week. Marquez, Callaway, Elijah Moore, Rondell Moore, Amon-Ra St. Brown. There is value at wide receiver, especially with the rookies. I have chosen Elijah Moore because Jamison Crowder is not playing. When we saw Elijah Moore on the practice field for the New York Jets in early July or late July, early August, him and Zach Wilson were hooking up on a lot of long plays. Zach Wilson has the arm strength to get the ball to Elijah Moore, especially when the play breaks down and Zach Wilson is running. He's only 10% owned. Emil, he's bare $3,000. We need 9 points. 5 receptions, 40 yards. 4 receptions, 50 yards. Elijah Moore hits our 3-time value. I tend to think he has a ceiling of 6 or 7 receptions, 80 yards, and a touchdown. Absolutely love Elijah Moore for $3,000. He's only 10% owned. There is risk, folks. I understand. People are going to say he's a rookie with the rookie quarterback. I'm going to embrace that risk here. I like Elijah Moore, and it allows me to pay up at other positions for veterans who I feel great about. The tight end, Emil, it's not very pretty this week if you don't go, I'm Travis Kelce. It's a tough position. All week I've been looking at this tight end slate. There's 2 that I like. Tyler Conklin, but I pivoted last night in my research to Adam Troutman. Troutman is playing now. He was injured earlier in the preseason and there were concerns. But Troutman is playing the Packers. The game script looks like a shootout, and there is a chance the Saints could fall behind early if there's a turnover by turnover-prone Jameis Winston and the Packers capitalize. And you also have Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, and Aaron Jones on the other side of the ball. Without Traquan Smith and Michael Thomas, I think there is a triplet of options for Winston. Marquez Callaway, Adam Troutman, and Alvin Kamara coming out of the backfield. I'm very worried about Marquez Callaway against Jair Alexander, the cornerback. Jair Alexander's a stud, folks. A stud. He's one of the top 5 corners in the league. Normally, he'd be on Michael Thomas, and I would love to have had Marcus Callaway. But in this matchup, I'm concerned. So I'm going to take Adam Troutman for $2,900. He's only 3% owned. Emil, those are my 3 salary savers, my sleepers on DraftKings this week.
That's fantastic. Interesting about Troutman, he was injured a couple weeks ago, but he was not on the injury report. I think it was yesterday, and that's good. That's good news, because then people have kind of forgotten about him. Now, Callaway is only $3,400, and we'll talk about him later. So you're saving $500 on Troutman, which is nice. Yeah, that's a nice set of sleepers you have there.
Thank you, my friend.
All right,
ladies and gentlemen,
Oh, go ahead.
Absolutely.
There we are.
Every week, we are going to give you a Fantastic Four lineup builder. What I want to do is provide you with 4 options that I love. You can do one of 2 things. You can build your own lineup around these 4 players, or, ladies and gentlemen, what you can do is you can go to our optimizer, which is awesome on Football Diehards. You can lock in these 4 players, and the optimizer will give you anywhere from 2 to 10 lineups based around these 4 players that I like, that I'm building my cash game lineup on. So this is a way to give a nice solid foundation and then see how you can build around it. One of the keys here, I'm not going to tell you to build around Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes. You guys are smart enough to know that. The optimizers are going to tell you that. What I'm going to give is find you value plays in the Fantastic Four that I like a lot. And then you can build around it yourself or use our optimizer. If you look there underneath the picture of T. Higgins, the salary that I gave you is $23,800. What that means is you have 5 more positions to build around out of the $50,000 salary. You can spend on an average of $5,240 on your salary. Also remember, the defense is included. You can choose your defense. You can choose to pay up, or you can choose to go down to the very bottom. That's up to you, which also gives you more salary maneuverability. And you have a tight end, so you can choose to pay up, or you can choose to pay down. But this is my Fantastic Four this week. I love Jalen Hurts. I was shocked, Emil, when I was looking at our ownership on our site right now. He's projected at 4%. That's as of last night at 10 o'clock when I looked. And our optimizer, it updates constantly. So that could move by Sunday morning or when you go to look on our page. But Jalen Hurts against the Falcons, with his upside, with his rushing ability, Emil, I absolutely love it. In his last 4 games last year, 23, 40, 24, and 17 points he scored on DraftKings. Emil, I will take those points any day of the week for a $6,400 salary. Love Jalen Hurts in this game at Atlanta. Huge upside with his legs. He is my starting quarterback of the Fantastic Four. This week, I wanted to give you options at the running back position where there is value. You can still build a lineup with Aaron Jones and Antonio Gibson, and you can put in Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara if you want to go with a 3 super strong running back build in my Fantastic Four. But I had to give you value. 2 of the players that I'm heavily invested in my season-long leagues, my player rankings, and just everything about fantasy football. Aaron Jones and Antonio Gibson. Aaron Jones right now, or as of last night, the projections were 8% ownership at $6,800, Emil. He is, let me see, how low is he on the running back? Right now, he is the, I got to put him into the lineup here. He is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th highest salaried running back. Emil, I will take that any day of the week with huge upside.
Wow.
Aaron Jones scored 27.8 points against Carolina last year, 26.8 against Philadelphia, 48.6 against Detroit, and 22.1 against Atlanta. Aaron Jones has a very high ceiling and a nice safe floor playing in that high-octane Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams-led offense against the Saints. I can't say enough about Antonio Gibson. Absolutely love him this year. Watched him a ton at Memphis. Was concerned, could he transition to running back? Emil, he made the transition spectacularly.
Yes.
He's playing the Chargers here at home. Curtis Samuel is not playing in this game, the free agent wide receiver. Why is that interesting to me? I believe that Samuel was going to be playing that slot position. They would put him in the backfield. He's that special weapon on offense that you can employ all over the field, which I was a little concerned in a DFS setting might take some touches away from Antonio Gibson. Without Samuel here, I think Antonio Gibson gets all those special touches. Remember, he was a wide receiver at Memphis. The pass-catching upside is huge here. He also is their goal line back and their pass catcher. He's only $5,900. Emil, I think by week 3, Antonio Gibson's going to be about $7,800 on DraftKings. I feel like this is one of the few opportunities that we get Antonio Gibson at a discount. Absolutely love him this week. Now, I don't think I'd use Antonio Gibson in a GPP. You see that ownership, everyone? 22%. But in a cash game, I don't really worry about ownership. I want to score the most points. And I believe Antonio Gibson is a smash button play this week. At wide receiver, I wanted to find a wide receiver who I love and is also in a good position. Give me T. Higgins all afternoon with a healthy Joe Burrow. It's been interesting, the Jamar Chase, the narrative around him, dropping passes, people are off of him. He's an interesting GPP play, ladies and gentlemen. Not a cash game. In cash, I'm going with T. Higgins. Emil. Once the Bengals made T. Higgins a focal point of their offense, it took them a little bit last year. Once they kind of realized A.J. Green had nothing left in the tank, Higgins had 67 receptions for 908 yards and 6 touchdowns last year. He averaged 13.4 points per game. And remember, Joe Burrow did not play like, at least the last 9 or 10 games of the year for Cincinnati. Look who was throwing the ball to T. Higgins, ladies and gentlemen. Love T. Higgins this week. That's my Fantastic Four. Plug them into our optimizer. See what our optimizer says. Or build your own cash game lineup around that Fantastic Four. And you can go to our website. We have great articles to help you to build the lineup, Emil. What do you think of the Fantastic Four this week?
I love it. I just ran it in the optimizer, and you can get.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, you can get like 50 lineups if you want to, but you're also able to have some of these lineups included Adams, Devontae Adams, and Kamara. So with this Fantastic Four, you can get some really high value players there and still meet your salary cap. And as we talk, or when we get down a little further, the Callaway situation in New Orleans, he's so low his salary is so low that a lot of the optimizer is showing Callaway in these lineups. And if you want to move off of Callaway, all you got to do in the optimizer is X him out, and then it will do lineups without him, so you can get a flavor of with Callaway and without Callaway.
And Emil, here is interesting. On our ownership page, Callaway is 29% owned. So
and he's the number one owned wide receiver.
So there's definitely value.
Well, $3,400. I mean, and what he showed in preseason. But as you pointed out, he may get heavily defended in the previous slide, and so that's something to think about. And sometimes things are so good, obviously if you're doing, let's say, 5 cash lineups, maybe you use them in 2 or 3 or whatever you want to, but do a couple without Callaway is perhaps a smart idea.
Absolutely, I completely agree with you, Emil.
All right, off to the next slide.
Dear Diehards friends, build better DFS lineups with all of the information that we have on our website. We have DraftKings cash plays and DFS GPP stacks by Jamie Calandro. There are 2 articles by Jamie every week throughout the season to help you. Read The Shadow Knows by Gary Davenport, wide receiver cornerback matchups. You can find juicy advantages with your wide receivers depending on the cornerback matchup, and Gary breaks it down for you. Of course, the Hall of Famer Bob Harris every week gives you the DFS 3 and out for your GPP lineups. Great article. I read it every week. Justin Linero, if you're looking for cash game options, if you're looking for a pivot from Marcus Callaway, Digging in the Crates Daily by Justin Linero will give you great options for pivot plays. And then Wednesday night, you can join Emil and I on Saturdays. But if you want a little bit of prep early in the week, there is Wednesday night DFS show with Jason Brady and yours truly, Emil Kadlec. All of that is on our website. And you can become a football diehard for only $24 a season. And you can get a 20% discount. You get all of that, plus our optimizer, plus our DFS roster ownership. We have it for FanDuel and DraftKings. I do all of my information based on DraftKings. That's where I play. But we will help you on FanDuel also. And every Sunday morning, I update my Scholar Sheet of Knowledge. My week 1 is already up there for all of our readers to look at. In it, I have top shelf investments, value plays. I have my fading plays, and I give you 2 cash game lineups that I'm going to play each week. Every lineup that I post, I play. I do this because I feel as an expert and a DFS player, I have to have full truthfulness, and I have to play the lineups that I'm suggesting to all of our readers. And I update those every Sunday morning, and I post them Saturday morning. So I wake up early about 6 o'clock on Sundays, and by 9 a.m. you will have your updated lineups, my scholar sheet of knowledge. All of this, ladies and gentlemen, for only $24 with the 20% discount. Emil, do you have the discount code for our
it's
viewers?
actually 15%, and it's
Oh,
Diehards.
sorry.
Just the word Diehards, and of course, if you haven't subscribed, that's a nice little bonus there.
Absolutely. Go get subscription, everyone.
And the DFS Wednesday show, I was on it with Jason Brady this week because Joe Calandra was off drafting fantasy football teams, which was, of course, the most fun we have. So each week he'll be on that show. And also that show is on Sunday morning at 10 o'clock Eastern time, the final word on Sunday morning. So that's coming up tomorrow. All right, you ready for the next slide?
Absolutely, man.
Booyah.
Every week, the last slide that we like to do is we know that even though I like cash games, there are plenty of GPP players out there. So what I want to do is I want to provide a GPP lineup. And one of the keys is it needs to be contrarian. A lot of people are going to be investing in Kansas City and Cleveland. A lot of people are going to be building lineups around New Orleans and Green Bay. I have to find a game each week that I believe has a shootout possibility, that if you pivot to this lineup, that you might have an opportunity to finish in that top 1%. These are high-risk plays. I don't expect to win most weeks, but that's what a contrarian lineup does. It's going for the grand slam. I don't care if I finish in second to last or if I finish in 500th. I want to finish in that 1% where all of the big winnings are when you are doing a contrarian build. The game that sticks out to me when I was looking at ownership and over-under and point spread was Seattle at the Colts. Emil, I'm getting Russell Wilson at 5% ownership. That seems like, to me, an incredible value and a terrific pivot. Just as an example, Patrick Mahomes, 15%. Kyler Murray, 13%. Josh Allen, 12%. Russell Wilson has that upside. We saw what Russell Wilson did the first half of last year. I'm hoping that the new offensive coordinator realizes they need to let Russ cook. This is a nice spot. Seattle is favored on the road against the Colts with the 49 over-under. I love when I can get Russell Wilson 5% ownership, Emil, and he's only $7,000, I'm all in on that. And I have a nice pivot from the big plays. And of course, Emil, if I'm going to win a contrarian GPP, I need Russ to throw the ball to two receivers. That's it. No Chris Carson in the passing game, no tight ends in the passing game, no third receiver. Funnel that football to DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. The Colts have some problems in the secondary, real problems in the secondary. I don't know how they covered DK Metcalf. I'm going to bank that both Metcalf and Tyler Lockett get peppered with double-digit targets here. So I'm going to put both of them in. Emil, DK Metcalf, 10% owned. More importantly, Tyler Lockett is only 4% owned. Emil, what do you think about that passing game funnel with Wilson, Metcalf, and Lockett as a contrarian stack?
Yeah, I love it. You're putting all your money, a lot of money into Seattle. This is great. And of course, Pascal, that's a scary one, but he's been they've got Hilton out, etc. I like this lineup. I hadn't got it in the optimizer yet, but I'll do that here shortly after the show.
Excellent. And why I took Pascal, people are going to take Pittman. But if you look at Pascal's numbers, my friends, because I did a little research last night, his last 4 games of the season, 25, 15, 6, and 13 points on DraftKings. Emil, when Pascal is on the lineup for a good percentage of snaps, he is a productive wide receiver. Without T.Y. Hilton, Pascal's going to be on the field a ton. And I looked at the ownership. What was Pittman on the ownership? I know he was higher. Pittman, 17% owned, Emil.
Wow. That's a great
said
point.
if I'm going to win a GPP, I need to pivot off of Pittman. I'm going to say 15% ownership. And I'm sorry, it is just as likely that Zach Pascal leads the Colts in fantasy production at wide receiver as it is Pittman in this contest. So I said with less than 2% ownership, I'm going to take Zach Pascal. I love him here. And then I needed a third player. You can't go to Jonathan Taylor. I just was like, no. We've seen Nyheim Hines' ceiling. When the Colts fall behind, Frank Reich does like to employ Nyheim Hines coming out of the backfield. 2 high ceiling games. Tennessee, 28.5 points. Detroit, 21.2 points. Incredible high ceilings. And here, wow, I forgot about this one, but I just saw it. Against Jacksonville, 27.3, Emil. We have a pass catching dynamic running back, less than 2% owned. If the Seahawks, which this is how I'm going to try to win my GPP, if the Seahawks jump out early behind Russell Wilson in this passing game, GameScript says the Colts have to throw in the second half of the game. Who is likely to be in that backfield? Nyheim Hines, less than 2% owned. I'm looking to win a GPP. I don't care if I finish in last. I want to win it and finish in first. That's why I pivoted to Nyheim Hines and Zach Pascal. Emil, were you able to plug that contrarian stack into a GPP and an optimizer?
Yeah, it looks pretty good. You know, you got some pretty big names in there. One of them gives me Rudolph. I'm not so sure if I like that, but you've got one with Troutman. Of course, some big names in there, you know, so people go in there and do that. Some of these tight ends are a little funky. Dan Arnold's a nice one. My lineup number 6 that it gives me, I like the Dan Arnold at tight end. So I'd have to. There's a couple there, and Pitts. One of them even has Pitts as the tight end with Kamara and Callaway also. So yeah.
Oh, so you come. So that's interesting. The lineup, the optimizer says shoot it back with the Saints.
Well, one of them, you know, I've got 10 lineups I just threw in, and it even has that. So that's the beauty about the lineup optimizer. Quickly, you can get 50 ideas if you want to, and then you can kind of refine and tinker. Of course, the big players, you can download this thing. I'm assuming you can load it into DraftKings. I haven't tried it, and pick multiple lineups. I play like about 5 lineups for $1 each. Not too many.
I'm a little more, but I'm a little more. I play more cash game than GPP. I usually play 1 GP. I'm trying to hit the million. If I don't, it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, here we are. I found us again. But, yeah, I like it. This is a really fun lineups here. I can't wait to put these in. And, of course, I got a day to think about it. But this is fantastic. This is really good ideas.
Thank you. And, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to try to record on Saturday nights. but I have season tickets with my son and daughter to UConn football, and for some reason we're playing a lot of games at 3. So there'll be a couple Saturdays we do this Saturday morning, but mostly we'll be doing it Saturday evenings. Just so if you want to join us each and every week.
Well, thanks, Don. Fantastic. So Jamar Chase, you think he's going to come on? You think this guy's going to come on?
I think he will in the long term, but I don't know. I don't know if this opening week. I'm not sure if this is the week. Now, interest, if you want to do a GPP with Jamar Chase, how many people are the narrative is so negative, Emil. I don't see it. I don't see hardly anyone taking Jamar Chase. I didn't even look. You know what? I didn't even think about Jamar Chase. Let me see what he's. I didn't even know his salary.
5.5% owned, which is low, but it's not that low. But he's $4,800. So,
and he's $4,800.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I will not have any ownership of Jamar Chase at $4,800. Not when I get Elijah Moore and Rondell Moore for $3,000.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Well, he looked bad. He didn't look ready to go out on the field in those preseason games. It was funny because I was just kind of glancing at it, and he alligator armed one, and I'm like, who is that guy? So that's Chase. I mean, the second game, I just knocked this out of my ear. I was so excited. The second game, he only had that one little wing pass, that little drop off, and it just went right through his hands. He was not ready to play, but I know he's took a year off of college, but that just doesn't look very good.
No, it doesn't look good. I mean, I don't even have him on my radar for this week 1.
Yeah,
it's just not. I mean. Yeah, and Higgins was for 4,700. I'm just like, yum.
Yeah, I haven't checked Boyd. He's another one that may be an option there. But
I didn't even see. Let me just see how much Boyd is as a pivot.
Yeah.
Oh, he's actually more than Higgins. He's 5,200.
Yeah, he is, and he's only 1.7 owned, so it's probably because of his salary. And then people are probably afraid of him.
Yes,
Chase
I agree with that.
Fantastic. Well, we could talk all day, but that's and one more interesting, Gabriel Davis. I'm going to watch him this week.
He's a great pivot in a GPP.
He's got a lot of talent.
I do like him as if you want to stack. Like this is just a suggestion. If you wanted to stack Buffalo and Pittsburgh, because that's got a high over-under.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people will do that. I would go off Stephon Diggs, and I would go Gabriel Davis at 3,400.
Interesting. I watched him, we've watched him last year, and I watched him in preseason. Yeah. He's got talent. The problem is...
No, he's definitely got talent.
What's this pie they've created? They got Emmanuel Sanders, you got Beasley, you got Davis. I'm probably missing somebody other than Diggs, obviously, and I'm just like... I don't know if they throw to the tight end that much, but it's just like, you're like, who the heck is going to be the real third receiver? Are they going to slice this thing up? That kind of worries me.
I agree with that, but the thing I like about Davis, he's the home run hitter.
Is he?
He's the one that Josh Allen other than Diggs. Obviously, he's going to take Diggs. Mm-hmm. But if you're looking for the 40-yard touchdown, Josh Allen chucks it deep to Gabriel Davis a lot. Cole Beasley and Emmanuel Sanders are not likely to be 40, 50 yards down the field when the play breaks down. But Gabriel Davis is.
Yeah, and in certain matchups, we've seen Beasley be the little slot guy who gets 10 catches for, 80 yards and has a great game, but it's kind of scary. I don't know. It's the week 1. But Davis is an interesting guy to watch. And perhaps even play in a lineup or two just to see what happens. Well, fantastic. This is a great show. You got anything else you'd like to add?
No, just enjoy the games. Build those lineups. I'll be with you tomorrow morning building. And if you ever want to ask Emil and I questions, we're live. Just type it into the chat room and ask Emil and I a question. We'll answer all your questions live.
Sounds great. Thank you, sir. We will see you tomorrow.
You're welcome.
Next week, that is.